Wrestle Kingdom 19. How long has it been since I last talked about Wrestle Kingdom? It's been bit a long minute. And Wrestle Kingdom featured the year of Konosuke Takeshita. And Konosuke Takeshita's ascension the last several months is a proof indicator that good things come to those who wait. If people were demanding Konosuke Takeshita win a championship in AEW after he beat Kenny Omega twice in the span of a week. And I certainly was on that side. I was like, man, Konosuke's ready to have a run with a championship. I would love it if he won the International Championship or re-elevate the TNT Championship, or hell, give him some runs in New Japan and whatnot. And AEW, and then he won the International Championship in a stellar triple threat match with Ospreay and Ricochet, who has now evolved into his new persona, Rico Tate. Anyways, as that's going on, since he's all about stabby with a scissors, Konosuke Takeshita captured the International Championship in a stellar matchup at Wrestle Dream, and then he would defend the International Championship at New Japan Pro Wrestling Fighting Spirit Unleashed. And it would lead into, well, Shingo Takagi coming out and challenging Takeshita for a title match after Konosuke defeated TJP, the guy who should have been fired by now because he's a science denier, more or less, because masks are evil. We all know how that era was. And the fact that he somehow still gets a good push, it's sad. Though we are in the same world where Hulk Hogan's still getting merchandise deals even after what came out about him and what he has publicly admitted to on multiple occasions. Ain't that right, Mr. I believe everyone in Florida is being a crybaby over hurricane disasters. Yeah, I'm still pissed about that. But as this has been going on, Konosuke Takeshita has... And also, me and some buddies of mine back when I was at Twitter, we always did this joke where when Konosuke Takeshita cut that promo against the Elite saying, "We will destroy the Elite," me and several others would just use that clip of Konosuke calling out corporate America, especially the Hollywood elite, when it comes to that strike. We kind of made Konosuke the face of the Hollywood strike, more or less, during the SAG-AFTRA stuff, which was fun. And then I left Twitter, but the Konosuke revolution lives on. But yeah, that was how big he was getting for us. Like, we were using his entire existence as a running joke to make targets at the Hollywood elite, and the fact that he was so great in the ring also helped. And really, AEW reportedly does think he's going to be a big face down the road, but I really love him better as a heel because really he turned heel for me when he said, hey, so anyways, Konosuke, so this deep, complex, layered story we have, which has spanned multiple promotions, our story of Hangman has spanned all the way from Ring of Honor to New Japan to here, we can't believe how deeply layered this is. Like, this is how much the lore matters, man. And then he just goes ahead and pisses everyone off by saying, "Bloodline better." And the internet lost their mind on that. I just made jokes about it. And then Kenny Omega came to Konosuke's defense to be like, yeah, like, they have a better product than us. They have a better story than ours. And it was like, Kenny Omega's been replaced by a robot. That's the only explanation for this. How could you say this multi-year layered storyline that's lasted longer than the Bloodline entirely is not as good as the Bloodline? Like, this is blasphemy. I'm about to bully you and all that. But ever since he joined up with Don Callis, there was some stagnation he suffered from, partially because there were reports that Jimmy Jacobs didn't want to put him in the scene of the main event scene, which, looking back on that was a stupid idea to not go ahead and put the strap on him. He's been gone now before Wrestle Dream, so Konosuke's ascension is all but assured at that point. And then there was also Kota Ibushi and Konosuke was supposed to happen, but Kota was hurt and wrestled a 20-minute match with basically the equivalent of broken knees. And that was a complete disaster. He's been gone. Then Kenny Omega was supposed to continue his feud with Konosuke and Don Callis and the Don Callis family. And then he got diverticulitis and almost died. So that was off the charts, off the cards now. So Konosuke was kind of stagnating and people were getting impatient, like they want him to do something important. And then when Will Ospreay came to AEW, they did a great match at Revolution. Stellar match. And then that would kickstart. And I honestly thought Konosuke was going to become international champion at All In, like Double or Nothing when they do Ospreay versus Swerve. I thought for certain that was going to lead to Don Callis betraying Will Ospreay. That didn't happen. Instead, he lost clean, and Konosuke had no involvement in that. And then Ospreay stuck around for a little bit longer in his feud with MJF as international champion. And then he would subsequently finally be betrayed by the Don Callis family, by Don Callis, his big mentor. Also, as I like to call him, Don Callis, Don the Virus, because that was who he was once upon a time in a promotion far, far away. Ain't that right, Cyrus? I'm still waiting for that. Anyways. Oh, man. But yeah, after Konosuke won the International Championship, he would remain being champion heading into Wrestle Kingdom 19. And it would lead to Shingo Takagi wanting to take a stab at him. And Tomohiro Ishii was waiting in the shadows because he's also he wants the shot at the championship, Tomohiro Ishii, which would lead into Wrestle Dynasty for the international title, but I'll get to that. Konosuke and Shingo Takagi went at it. A very stiff match, strongly performed, great psychology involved in that. Konosuke is really coming into his own with this heel persona. Don Callis being right side really helps. And ever since then, I feel like, and this is also kind of stunning to see because, like, not only is Konosuke an AEW contracted wrestler, he's also still signed to DDT Pro, and now he's partially signed to New Japan Pro Wrestling. It was confirmed he is signed to an agreement with them. So he's working 3 different promotions, and yeah, and I would assume DDT and New Japan were still kind of enemies at that point because they're still in competition more or less for total market dominance in Japan, I believe. I could be wrong on that. I do not do business economics and whatnot or competitional business. I just was like, give me good product, give me good storytelling, and also please don't be a piece of you know what, and we'll be good. Oh, and at least keep your ratings up enough so you don't get kicked off the air despite your content. But yeah, Shingo and Takeshita went at it right off the get-go, being their stiff style, strong style, New Japan wrestling, and it just kind of makes me wish I know it's never going to happen, Takeshita versus Shinsuke Nakamura at his peak when he was in New Japan. It would be a phenomenal freaking match. But yeah, probably never going to happen. Unless Shinsuke leaves WWE, because I don't see him leaving AEW anytime soon or any of his commitments already. But beyond that point, Konosuke would face Shingo Takagi, had a stellar match with him, strong style involved, and it would lead to him defeating Shingo Takagi for the Never Openweight Championship. Here's the thing about the Never Openweight Championship. I'm still confused by that title. I mean, like, I don't know much about New Japan's past history up until Alpha and Omega match. I had to study a whole bunch of stuff, but I still don't get why the Never Openweight title is still a thing when they have all these other title belts. I assumed when I first heard about the Never title was that was a separate independent promotion, or like NXT was to WWE, a promotion within a promotion once upon a time. But yeah, I still never got that, and there were still all the other Never titles. And when Jay Whitehall was Never Openweight champion, I was like, yeah, that doesn't match you, man. Like, I know you're trying to, but like, come on, New Japan fumbled. Like, that belt does not fit you for some reason. It just doesn't click with me. And it's not even a case of the title trying to make the guy, because Jay White, though, was already established by that point, but it was like, I just can't see him. It doesn't click with me. Like, Shingo Takagi, it fits him. It really does. It really fits him. But it's like, I don't want him to be locked in there for his entire career, being locked into one specific title. That kind of is weird to me. Maybe because he has had a lot of reigns as the never openweight champion, and he even delivered the infamous clothesline of deformity to Kenta. If you're asking what that is, it's basically a mid-inch shot range of Shingo Takagi clotheslining Kenta in the back of his head, and the photo was taken showing his body melting and convulsing in ways that should be ranged to body horror at this point. And I always picked one of those three options, the other one being the Temple of Doom chop from Volta back when he was outside of WWE, which was, and my god, it was so brutal saying that. It's like, okay, so I see Walter was a fan of Temple of Doom. Kalima! But, yeah, Shingo Takagi, he's definitely going to get that title back. It's practically glued to the hip with him. No matter how many times he loses and gets it back, it's always going to be around his waist, no doubt. Until the day he retires, probably. But Takeshita becoming double champion, that's a nice one. Being a double champ, representing New Japan, representing AEW, representing DDT Pro, that's a good push there, right there, man. And then he would take on Tomohiro Ishii and win that match at Wrestle Dynasty, and would have defending title matches in New Japan Pro Wrestling for the Never Openweight Championship, as he still has stuff with the international champion in AEW and other promotions. But yeah, Takeshita, this is really looking to be like his big year. It's February. I know New Japan was a month ago. New Japan's Wrestle Kingdom event was a month ago, but like, I just wanted to talk about this since I finally got around to watching that match. It was pretty freaking phenomenal. Like, Takeshita, man. I'm like, if the rumors were true that Jimmy Jacobs just did not see the value in him, I'm just like, dude, I was on your side when WWE fired you for the dumbest reasons possible, because by that logic, every wrestler that ever worked for WWE at that time should have also been fired, because they also took pictures with people who were outside the company at the time, who were friends with anyone outside the company at the time, because that was the standard they just set there. Like I mentioned this, I said this on my old channel, that if by that logic, then are you going to fire Kevin Owens, who's your Universal Champion, for taking a picture with Adam Cole, baby, when he was the Ring of Honor World Champion at that time, and they shared a room together? We're not doing that? Okay, then why did Jimmy Jacobs have to be fired? He was your best writer in WWE at that time, and you fired him because he took a picture with the enemy. Like, heck, even Bischoff probably would think that was stupid. I'm like, I don't know what his thoughts were when that happened, but it's like, even he admits that there were times he wanted to cross over DX and NWO, specifically that fiasco in '98 where he was like, damn it, I should have let them in. During that whole charge into the WCW arena when they closed down the building, like that, if they had done that, that would have been hell. That would have been hell frozen over moment. But we can't go back to that time now unless we want to invent time machines, and we already have enough problems on our plate as a society. But yeah, Takeshita, oh man, you're doing so awesome, man. I can't wait for your big match in Australia with Grand Slam Australia, taking it with Kyle Fletcher in his native country against the combined alliance of Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega. Kenny, by God, Omega. I'm looking forward to that tag team match. It's going to be an awesome match, no doubt. The reason why I have not covered Brian Cage and Kenny Omega's return match is because I actually wanted to save everything I had that I wanted to talk about regarding Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega matches, besides the Buddy Matthews match, was because it's all building up to this moment and all the segments they did. So we'll see. So I'm pretty sure that's going to probably be a potential 30-minute video. Depends on how long the match goes and how quality it is and how much story I can recram myself into knowing once again. But this was your host, Eric Brown of NRE The Wrestleverse. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe. Check out my content in the description below. Stay tuned for more. I'll see y'all again next time. Peace and take care. Take care of yourselves and each other, and I'll see y'all again next time. Peace.